Hello, Joy Barton Ozar here. We are continuing to the 30 Days of JavaScript series. It's day 2, and we will focus on data types in JavaScript. So there are two data types in JavaScript, primitive data types and non-primitive data types, which is object references. Primitive data types are predefined data types by the syntax, and these are, as we talked in the day on, numbers. They are integers and floats, strings, any data under single quote or double quote, booleans, true or false, null, empty value or no value, undefined, a declared variable without a value, and a symbol, a unique value that can be generated by a symbol constructor. These are generally foreign languages like kanjis in Japanese and Chinese symbols. Non-primitive data types are objects and arrays. Non-primitive data types are immutable, so you can't modify it after its declaration. You need to create a new one. For example, this is a string, let word variable, it's a string. If you try to modify this string, it will cause an error. For example, trying to change its first character to Y gives an error. For example, there's a comparison example here. So num1 and num2, they're both 3 because they're integers, and it's true. Python and JavaScript are not equal. They are not equal strings. And true and false are not equal booleans. Non-primitive data types, like arrays, are defined like this in an example. 1, 2, 3, and the first element is setting to 10, and 10, 2, 3. So we are modifying them, but it changes the array. It's different object. It has a different object ID, and yeah. And here, if you try to compare two objects, that is array, it's going to be false, even their elements, because they are different objects. And it's the same for object values, like these are the fields of the object. It's going to be false, because you can't compare them like this. You can compare arrays, functions, or objects, and these are non-primitive values, and they are referred to as reference types, and they are compared by reference instead of values. They have the same object. For example, nums equal to be numbers. Now they are showing the same position in the memory they're pointing, so it's true. Same here as well. Numbers. Declaring number data types. Age 35, gravity 9.81. It's also a number, and also a number, and also a number. And there's a constant. Constant means you can't change this variable later, and we're just printing them, as you can see. So mathematical objects, in mathematical class, there are some objects, for example, pi. If you try to print the pi, it gives you this result. And you can round values. For example, rounding pi gives 3. And if 98.81, if you try to round that, it will round to 10. It's like florin. It's like ceiling. If it's close to ceiling, it does ceiling. If it's close to floor, it does floor, the round. Floor just floors, which means rounding to the smaller integer value. Ceiling does the opposite. Minimum returns the minimum of them. Maximum returns the maximum of them. Random, so you need to say math.random. It creates a value between 0 to 0.99999. And to create integer values, you need to multiply it with its range. For example, for 0 to 10, you need to give 11. It means from 0 to 10, because it will be a value. Math.random will return a value between 0 and 1. And if you floor it, you will get a fairly random integer. Abs gets the not abstract, gets the absolute value. If it's negative, it makes it positive. Square root gets square root. Power 3/2. E, the math E number, getting the logarithm value. ln2, ln10, sin, cos. Random is explained here again. Yeah, it's random again and again. Strings. This is an empty string. You can use single or double ticks, quotes. But if you need to use a single tick inside the string, you can use double quotes at the start and the end of the string declaration. Concatenation means adding strings together, gluing them together. We can use the mathematical summing operation as shown here. Yes, using the adding operator. First name, last name, and we're just putting them, concatenating them together. Long literal strings, you can format it using the backslash shown here. Escape sequence in strings. There are some special characters. For example, you can use backslash tick to create a single quote, double quote, just a backslash tab, or a new line. As you can see, if it's the backslash t, it creates a tab. You can do it like that too. Template literals. You can embed a variable inside a string, shown as here, with $sign and curly brackets. For example, A is 2, B is 3, and it will embed this value inside like that. Inject. Yes. Another example of that. And you can also do Boolean calculations. If A greater than B, it will return false and inject inside the string. There are string methods for you. You can get the length of a string. Its characters count will start from 0, because it's mathematically n plus 1, n plus 2. So don't forget about it. It's like an array under the hood. We are holding the letters, string 1, string 2, string 9. reaching its value by the last index, etc. To uppercase makes the string fully uppercase, or to lowercase make it the whole string to lowercase. Substring takes 2 arguments and the beginning point, the ending point, and gets substring. Very easy. And if you give only one parameter, it accepts the first parameter as 0, so it gets from 0. No, is it more? No, if you give only one, it will accept to the end. Sorry. Splits by the value you give as a parameter. For example, if you give 0, sorry, not 0, empty character, it will divide these and create an array by these empty characters. So 30 days of JavaScript, and empty character splits the string by words. And you can split by empty string. This means get every character, or by other characters. Trim removes that character from the beginning or the end. Includes checks if that string includes in the other string, and returns a boolean. Replace gets old substring and new substring and changes the first matching string. Char at gets the char at that index. You can do it like this, or using curly brackets, string curly brackets 0, kind of same. Char coded, you can get the ASCII number of that character. Index of gets the index of that character that first matches. If it doesn't exist, it returns -1. And the uppercase and lowercase is important here. Last index of it's last position, not the first position. Concat, it concatenates strings, starts with, checks if it starts with that value, ends with, checks if it ends with that value. Searches string in that other string. Matches a regular expression regex or a substring. If there's a match, returns an array. If not, it returns null. For example, we can give parents like this, regular expressions like this. This means in case insensitive. For example, match love. If there is a match, it gives you a more detailed index, the count, etc. Another example here. And we don't have to know the regular expressions. It says yeah, this means any number. Plus means it can be 0 or more, and G means global, search everywhere, right? Something like that. Repeat. It takes a number as an argument and turns repeated version like love 10, love, it writes 10 times and concatenates. Can be useful in some situations. Checking data types and casting. Casting means changing one data type to another. We check data type using type of this. It tells you that this is a string. It's also a string because it's this variable. Type of 10 is number. This is number, boolean, number. Undefined because it's undefined and null. Changing the type is casting. You can use predefined methods to do casting, such as parsing, parse floats, or you can do concatenating some value with a string, makes the string. You can use number to make the number. String to it, yes, plus sign. You'll see it here. Parse integer. The string becomes number 10. Or you can just add number. Add number? Add. Yeah, that's interesting. Add number. String to float. Parse float. Number plus sign. Plus sign. Interesting. And the parse integer. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, it's time for the exercises. I solved some of the exercises, maybe all of them. Let's check them quickly. You can stop here and try it by yourself. It will be helpful. We're creating a variable and writing 30 days of JavaScript. We are printing it with the console.log, checking its length, making it uppercase, lowercase, getting a substring, the first 3, and 3 to end, and this is first 4. If it includes, says true, splitting by what? String into an array using split method. Oh, this is not fully correct. So I didn't add something, so it just get all, but I should do an empty string like code, so it will just be 30 days of JavaScript. I have to change this. Oh, I did it here. Okay. Yeah, using the space. So if you use space, it becomes like this. If you don't use space, you just use it. It gets the whole thing. We're getting this and splitting by this symbol, and it creates all companies as an array. It's really easy, it's fun. Char at 15, so, checks which char is at 15, and turns that. It turns the char codes, index, last index. Actually, we are just practicing it. These are not very complex. We're just directly using it. It's because it's level 1. So in level 2, we're starting easy. So we're checking type of 10. So type of this will be string, and this will number, and it's not equal. But if we parse integer that, they will be equal. If we parse float that string, it will be false because it will be a number. It's going to be a float. But if we seal it to an integer, they both will be an integer. If Python includes on, true, jargon includes on, true. It includes jargon because it's true. Creating a random number between 0 and 100, 101, as I said before. We just multiply it with math random and we get the floor. Random number between 15 and 100. Same thing. We're getting doing the same thing, but just using curly brackets to get a character inside that string by the position. Use console log and escape characters to print the following pair. So I did this. It's not very good, I know. It just gets exponential in a 1 to 6 for loop. We will see for loop. Not now. We're slicing it. We know how to slice it. This is matching the count number of word love. Oh, this helps us to count the word love. Love. We're looking for love. We're looking for love in the global, and we're getting its length. It's 3. This will return an array. Yeah, it will return an array, and yeah, that's how we do it. And then we get length. Match. Yeah, it's kind of same. It wants us to find the most frequent words and clean the artifacts. It's a good starting example for natural language processing applications. I did that very often in Python. You can check other videos. Yeah, anyways, I just split it. Sentence split by this value and join this. This splits from these values and then joins them together. So it's kind of a deleting operation we're doing here. And then we get this, and we also want to remove these values. And later, by doing split by empty character space, we're creating an array. Hooray! It's an array. So this is all the words and characters. Some of them are characters. So here we are using a simple loop to count the frequency, reps count for the array of length. If reps counts that element is not in a reps count, it gets a 1, so it counts it. Else it just gets its value and increases its count. And at the end, for every reps count, if it occurs more, it just pushes it, and plus one with the highest one is the I. I is the most often used word here. And the last example, calculate the total income, annual income of, which means yearly income of the person by extracting numbers from the following text. He earns 5,000 euro from salary per month, 10,000 euro annual bonus, and 15,000 euro online courses per month. So we get that text, and we match every single number value, these, and then we're parsing them, because we know there are 3. We're parsing them. If we didn't know there are three elements, we'll just use a for loop. I'm just giving ideas here. And then because the first one is annual, because the first one is per month, we multiply by 12, and we add the bonus, and the course is monthly as well. We multiply by 12, and at the end we just concatenate? No, not concatenate. Yeah, we multiply the values and get this result. Don't forget to change the values, cast values using parseInt, or else it will just concatenate the strings together. It will be wrong. See you in the next episode. Take care.